Well, students of 11th class, continuing with equilibrium, our today's topic is law of mass action and law of chemical equilibrium. First, let us come to law of mass action. This law was given by two Norwegian chemists, namely Guldberg and Vauge. These were the two chemists, rather the Norwegian chemists, who in the year 1864 gave a relationship. It was a correlation between rate of a reaction and concentration of a reaction, the molar concentration of the reaction. So, to correlate rate of a reaction with concentration of reaction or concentration of reactants, in the year 1864, two Norwegian chemists, namely Goldberg and Vauge, they gave a law which was known as law of mass action. Now, let us state this law. What does this law state? This law states that at constant temperature, this is the condition of the law, that the temperature should be kept constant. At constant temperature, the rate of a reaction is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of reactants each term raised to the power equal to the stoichiometric coefficients of a balanced reversible reaction. This is the statement of the law. Now, let us take this law mathematically. Mathematically, consider a general reaction. Consider a reaction, a chemical reaction rather, and the reaction is AA, BB, they form products. Now in this chemical reaction rather, A is the stoichiometric coefficient of reactant A, and this small b is the stoichiometric coefficient of reactant B. So if we apply the law of mass action to this chemical reaction, what will we get? We will get rate of reaction directly proportional to product of molar concentration. Now, molar concentration of reactants. Now, what are the reactants? Reactant is A and B. So, this is molar concentration of A into molar concentration of B. When we keep this in square bracket, it means molar concentration. So this is molar concentration of B into molar concentration of B raised to the power. Now we have to raise these to certain powers. And what should be the powers? These powers should be equal to the stoichiometric coefficients. These are the A and B, small a and b. Small a and small b. These are the stoichiometric coefficients of a balanced chemical equation. So this can be rewritten as R directly proportional to AA into BB. So this is how we can apply law of mass action. So R is equal to, we can write here small r also. R stands for rate of a reaction, proportional to concentration of B raised to power A into concentration of B raised to power B. These A and B, small a and b, these are stoichiometric coefficients of reactant A and B in a balanced chemical equation. Now, keeping this law in mind, we can go to another law. And another law is law of chemical equilibrium. Law of chemical equilibrium. This is another law, and this law is basically the direct result of this law, that is law of mass action. This law is the direct consequence or direct result. This is the direct result of law of mass action, which we just understood, law of mass action. But the difference is that we will be applying this law to reversible reactions. Direct result of law of mass action to reversible chemical reactions. Reversible chemical reaction. So we will have to take a reversible reaction. Consider a reversible chemical reaction. Consider a reversible chemical reaction. This is a general reaction. AA gives BB. AA plus BB. These are both of these are reactants. This is a reversible reaction. They are forming products CC plus DD. Now these capital letters A, B are reactants. These capital C and D are products. And as far as these small letters are concerned, these are their stoichiometric coefficients. A and B are stoichiometric coefficients of reactant A and B, while this small c and small d, they are stoichiometric coefficients of products C and D. Now let us apply law of mass action to this reversible. Now here we have two reactions, two half reactions rather. One is the forward reaction and another is the backward reaction. So let me applying law of mass action to, first we will apply this to this, I mean to say the forward reaction. So according to law of mass action, the rate of a reaction, and this time which reaction? The forward reaction. This is rate of a reaction. It should be directly proportional. It should be directly proportional to the molar concentration of reactants raised to the power as stoichiometric coefficients of a balanced chemical equation. So this is law of mass action applied to the forward reaction. If we further solve this will be RF equal to a constant KF. KF is a rate constant. This is rate constant for forward reaction. K for rate constant into concentration of A and B also. Let this be named as equation 1. So we have applied law of mass action to the forward reaction. Now we will apply the same law to the backward reaction. Applying law of mass action to backward reaction. What will we get? We will get a rate, but of which reaction? Of backward reaction. That is B for backward. That will be directly proportional to the now when this is the backward reaction. In backward reaction, C and D will be the reactants. So it will be concentration of C raised to power small c into concentration of D raised to power small d. So if you further solve this, we will get rate of backward reaction equal to a constant, and this time the constant will be Kb instead of Kf. F for forward, B for backward reaction into concentration of C and D. So this is equation 2. So since the reaction has to be taken in chemical equilibrium, so at chemical equilibrium we know that rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. So let us further solve this. At equilibrium, what will be the situation? At chemical equilibrium, the rate of forward reaction must be equal to the rate of backward reaction. Now rate of forward reaction is equal to Kf. We can write here Kf into molar concentration of A raised to power small a into molar concentration of B raised to power small b. Here we will write rate of backward reaction, that is this. Kb is rate constant for backward reaction into concentration of C and D, product of their concentration. So further solving this, what we can get? We can get Kf. Let us bring Kb to the left side. It will become upon Kb equal to concentration of C and D upon these. That is concentration of A raised to power A and concentration of B raised to power B. So Kf by Kb, let us put it like this. K, we can write K here, or we can write Kc also. Now what is Kc? Kc is equilibrium constant, while as, please remember, Kf, this is rate constant for forward reaction. Then Kb was rate constant for backward reaction. But now this K or Kc, this is not rate constant, this is equilibrium constant, or Kc. We can also write it as Kc, C for concentration here. So K or Kc will be equal to this, D raised to power D upon concentration of A raised to power A into concentration of B raised to power B. Now this equation will give us the law of chemical equilibrium. Now we are in a position to state the law of chemical equilibrium. At constant temperature, for a reversible reaction, the reversible reaction in equilibrium, the ratio, this is the ratio. ratio of product of molar concentration of products, these are products, C and D and products, to the product of molar concentration of reactants is always equal to a constant. It is a constant. This is what law of chemical equilibrium states. So we can state this law as under. We are in a position to state law of chemical equilibrium. Statement of the law. Statement. Now what does this law state now? First let me put the conditions. Condition is at constant temperature. At constant temperature for a reversible reaction, because we have to take a reversible reaction, for a reversible reaction in equilibrium, the reversible reaction should be in a state of chemical equilibrium. Under these conditions, the ratio of these two, the ratio of what? This is the product. Ratio of the product. Product means multiplication. Product of what? Molar concentration of what? These are products, C and D. Of products to what? Its ratio to what? To the product, again product, to the product of molar concentration, product of molar concentration of what? These are the reactants, of reactants, and each term has been raised to some power. Each term raised to the power, what is the power? Equal to stoichiometric coefficient. Stoichiometric coefficient of a balanced equation, and this ratio now is constant. That is, it is equal to this constant, is constant. Now, if this law, that is law of chemical equilibrium, if this law is applied to those reversible chemical reactions where we have only gases involved, that is all the reactants and products are in gaseous state, then this law can be put as like this. Instead of Kc, we can write here Kp. P for pressure. This is the pressure. And here we will write like this. Cc dd AA BB, but we will place P here. These are vapor pressures, partial pressures rather. P for partial pressures. So in case of gases, the law of chemical equilibrium can be put like that. This, in case of gases, the law of chemical equilibrium can be rewritten as Kp is equal to P for vapor, this partial pressure of C, partial pressure of D, partial pressure of A, and partial pressure of D. That is in place of molar concentration, we have written what? We have written partial pressure. So this is the only difference between this and when the reactants and the products are in gaseous phase. So that is all about the law of mass action and the law of chemical equilibrium. So please keep in mind that law of chemical equilibrium is direct result of law of mass action when applied to a reversible chemical reaction. And that is all for today. Thank you very much.